This week we're going to test the acceleration of the Honda XR650L with the 13, 14 and 15 tooth countershaft sprockets. Hi, it's Francois here from adventurebikegroup.com, and today is another day of very unscientific test running on the XR with the different size sprockets. Now Fritz Huss from Fritzco, who sent me the sprockets, also sent me an accelerometer. I mounted it, as you can see here. Problem with the accelerometer is it works fine. I am a bit scared that the rubber sticker thingy, suction cup thingy, is going to come loose as I ride off. But the problem is it vibrates too much, so it starts moving and then the accelerometer inside can't work properly. And also the 12-volt connection, it rattles because it's in this flap here, this cooling flap thing. It rattles loose and then I lose the power as I accelerate. So we are just going to do acceleration runs with the 13 tooth, 14 tooth, 13, 14 and 15 tooth front sprockets with the stock 45 in the rear. So low, medium, high gearing. It's a slightly uphill, mostly flat tar road. And then I'm just going to give you my subjective thoughts on the difference between the three. I have to warn you before I start, I am a very cautious rider. You all know this if you've been watching this channel, and I do care for the bike without the cush drive. I don't want to tear the whole drivetrain apart, so it's not going to be a super fast launch, and I'm 100% sure most of you watching this will be able to launch this bike much faster down here, but I'm scared I'm going to land on my backside, and I'm also scared I'm going to damage something, either the splines on the output shaft or the counter shaft. Anyways, here we go with the 13 tooth. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. There's no way I'm going to launch this thing full throttle. As soon as I open it up, I didn't even open it up full throttle, it lifts the wheel. And I'm not a motocross rider. I'm not going to lean flat on the tank and then open it up and see how fast I can go. It's just to give you an idea, this thing does pull super strong in this for this 13 tooth front sprocket, and there's no way I'm launching that full speed. So it works. Now we're going to swap over to the 14 tooth, see how that works out. Got the C-clip on there, not the standard retainer, and it's so easy to swap it out next to the road. Just remember to bring gloves, otherwise you're going to burn yourself. Anyways, quick swap, then we're on our way. I always pick the hardest day to do this. Anyways, see how easy it is. You just grab the chain and sprocket, and then wiggle the sprocket out. Going to put the new one in, retaining clip on, then off we go. I want to thank Fritz for sending me the sprockets and the accelerometer to do these tests. It's a pity I can't get the thing to work properly, the accelerometer. The sprockets work fine, but we're going to do the 14 tooth now. I've made my little marks there on the snail adjusters for me to quickly see where the chain tension should be on each of the sprockets. So it came from, I think it was a 36 down to a 30 now, and then I think it's 23 when I go to the 15 tooth, which we'll do next. Now it's the 14 tooth, let's do a run. I'm going to take you on board for this one, and then you can see how quickly the analog speedo picks up speed, and then we'll switch to the 15. Enjoy. I told you this is going to be super scientific. Wow, I actually want you to see the difference it makes. I'm gonna show you from the outside, and this is pulling away with the same amount of throttle. It's not nearly as lively as the 13 tooth. I just love this 14 tooth, the flexibility. It's still nice and torquey, but you can do 120 kilometers per hour, 75 miles per hour very easily and still pull strong. So let's see it from the outside. If you haven't checked it out already, go and check out my video where I did fuel economy runs on the different size sprockets. You can see it in the description up here somewhere. It's just a huge difference. With this 14 tooth I can really open up the throttle a lot more, almost fully, I think fully, without the wheel lifting as high. So it would have been interesting to see which one accelerates the fastest, because with a 13 tooth I have to close it again, otherwise it goes too high for my liking. Let's try the 15 tooth, the stock sprocket. So I'm going to quickly swap over to the 15 tooth and do the same run again. I actually forgot what it felt like, because I never really did much mileage with this 15 tooth Fritzco. I still had the stock sprocket, and I would not try these types of acceleration runs with this thin 8mm stock Honda sprocket. It had a lot of play on it. The Fritzco is much wider. I just love it. It's gonna last a lot longer. So let's swap out next to the road here in the middle of nowhere and do a run on the 15 tooth. How's that for swapping a sprocket with one hand? The C-clip is awesome for doing it next to the road. And I'm really there, you can see in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing, it's just on the side of the road. It's a couple of seconds, just tension the chain again and then off with the highway sprocket. Okay, let's go do the 15 tooth. That was actually it, but we're going to do it again and you're going to go with me. Okay, so as you can see, the 15 tooth, you can really give it everything you've got. It accelerates fast, but not as fast as the 14, and also not as fast as the 13. So, unfortunately, the accelerometer didn't work as planned, so it's not as scientific as planned. But what I can say is that they all accelerate between 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, or that's 0 to 62 miles per hour, between 5 and 10 seconds. So that's all three, the 13, 14 and 15 tooth front countershaft sprockets from Fritzco. Now, what are my thoughts? That's very easy. The 13 tooth, the bike is super alive. I can't keep the wheel down. You really have to cover the rear brake or close the throttle. I'm going to flip it if I just give it gas, because I'm not experienced with wheelies and stuff. So the 13 tooth, wow, it's fun. If you want to learn wheelies, that's the one to try. 14 tooth, I love that the most. It's very quick to accelerate. It lifts the wheel slightly, but you can still open it up wide. You can get to 120 kilometers per hour easily. You can pull strong between 100 and 120 kilometers per hour. That's about 60 to 65, 70 miles per hour. That's awesome all-rounder. And then the 15 tooth, obviously the best highway sprocket if you want to maintain 100 kilometers or 120 kilometers per hour. So between 100 and 120, I think it's 65 to 75 miles per hour. The 15 tooth is going to be the best because they give you the best fuel consumption. The only problem is I never go faster than 120 kilometers per hour. You could see there between 130 and 140 kilometers per hour the head shake starts. so you're going to need a fork brace, or I don't know. I had to duck, but even ducking at 140, it does start feeling a bit wobbly, and I don't have off-road tires on here even. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the acceleration between the 13, 14 and 15 tooth countershaft sprockets from Fritzco on the Honda XR650L. Thank you for joining. See you next week.